relevant are they? How would you respond to somebody questioning whether they should vote for you?
I think people ought to vote for me because I have a long record of service in Thousand Oaks. I think that I have, over the last 51 years, have had an opportunity to be of great assistance to the city, and I have tried to get to know people. I walk door to door constantly, and I try to implement the ideas that I get from the people. I think the fact that I've been elected to office 6 times, and I'm in my 25th year of service, or excuse me, 21st year of service to the public, shows that the public have confidence in me. When they ask me to do something, I get it done. I believe I have a record of responsiveness, and I believe I have a record of commitment to the people of Thousand Oaks. You know, when people phone me and say there's a problem at a certain part of town, I don't have to look at a map. I know that street, I know where it is, I know what goes on there. So, you know, I believe that after all my time in this community, people know who I am.
Okay, thank you. For Chase Rashid, you've run for the council before. In this session, you have raised very little money and didn't even buy a campaign statement. I know it's expensive, but you didn't even do that. So the question comes up, is this just an ego trip for you?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, you can factor in money, and I don't like asking people for money. I think it's, frankly, I think it's rude. But, you know, I've raised a little bit of money. I put up some of my own money for the campaign. I prefer to do grassroots campaign. I prefer to talk to people, get out there and talk to the people. And as far as it being an ego trip, absolutely not. I'm going to tell you something that happened to me. I could have gotten out of this race because somebody decided to send me, that didn't want me in this race, just decided to send me an email, told me I need to be cleaning up tables, comparing me to a dog, and all just sort of horrible things. I called that woman on the phone. I told her I'm not getting out of this race. And then I looked her in the eye to me when she got up and raised all sorts of ridiculous ideas, and I told her the same thing. I'm in this for public service, so if I take that kind of gunfire, then you know this is not an ego trip for me.
Good.
Very good.
Pastor McCoy, you have...
Can't wait. What do you got?
You have run for political office for the Assembly once. Some would say that this seems to be a matter of getting your name out so that you could run for further office of the Assembly again. How would you meet that question, whether you're just in this as a stepping stone for further political office?
I'm committed to finishing the term that Jackie vacated. In addition, if I'm honored to be elected for a second term, I'll fulfill it to its entirety. I would like to say in relation to these questions that have been asked to all the candidates, this is a tough thing to do, to run for office. And we wonder why we have such a low voter turnout, because it's difficult to run for office. Dan has served this community faithfully. Ed is a good man. His past is behind him, and I'm grateful for him. And Chase, keep running, because you're an inspiration to the entire community. Whoever wins this election, the city will be in good hands. But we have to start working on unity in this community, and these questions are brutal. Let's start getting together as a community and start caring for one another. Thank you.
Although we just have some wonderful questions, a lot of them didn't come in until a little too late, and the candidates, I'm sure, will also stick around for a little bit, and then you can also talk to them as individuals. But at this point, what I'd like to do is to turn it over to closing statements so we can get out of here on time. And we have started with Ed, and if you wouldn't mind, we might start with Ed by way of concluding.
Well, I think we've had a wonderful campaign season. I've got to know these other 3 gentlemen. I think they're all fine men. I think if they were elected, they'd all do their very best to serve the people of this community. I feel a real commitment to this community. You know, I can look at street light that I helped get put there. I can look at some things on Moore Park Road that came as a result of a vote I made. I can look at the fact that I helped get a lot of money for this city. I was on the Ventura County Board of Supervisors. This is a little-known fact. When the city wanted to create the redevelopment agency to stretch all the way from the parking lot in the Oaks Mall to the car dealers in Westlake, and the county assessor, a man named Waterman, said that is all wrong. You're only going to be able to have the blighted areas, which meant the Old Town Greenwich Village area, which is a much smaller area, that actually needed to be upgraded. But if we didn't keep the longer, stretch, we would not raise the money that we needed to do that. So I got a 3-2 vote to broaden that district so it included the whole area of Thousand Oaks Boulevard all the way from Westlake to the Oaks Mall, which was worth a lot of money to the city, and we did a lot of wonderful things with that. I was in a fortunate position to be able to do that. But I look at this city as, I've been here most of my life and raised 5 children here. They've all gone through the school system. I look at public service, as I'm sure these other gentlemen do, as really a sacrifice. I mean, we answer the phone night and day. My goal is to get out and help people. I got a call at 4 o'clock in the morning once because Loopy Drive was flooding right near Sequoia School because a water main had broken that ran through the backyards. Why they ever put it back there, I don't know. I was out there at 5:30 in the morning helping people shovel mud out of their houses. I mean, that's the way I look at public. I sound like I'm really bragging here. I don't mean to be. I'm just citing, my 51 years in the city and the fact that I just have a feeling that this is like part of me. It's like my family, like my wife and 5 children. I love the city, and I do my very best to honor it and to help it. Thank you.
I've been honored to be a member of this community for 15 years. This community has given me so much. Some of the greatest events in my life have happened here in Thousand Oaks. My family's been tremendously blessed. I can't help but to give back to a city that's given to me so much. I'm not running to tell people what to do. I'm running so that city government can be closer to the people and you can tell us what it is you want to have done. Every person that I meet, they get my cell phone number. In addition, I want to have the council meetings far more transparency and bring the council meetings to the people instead of the people to the council meetings. We need satellite locations for these council meetings. I'd like to see our 11th and 12th grade students in the Conejo Unified School District have access at least 3 times a year to these council meetings so that we can train up the next generation to understand the gift we've been given of a representative form of government. Local government is the best because people have access. Once a month I'm going to have a place where I'll sit down, as we've learned from previous city fathers, founders, that you come and you sit and you tell me as we're having coffee. As I've watched Chief Hagel do the same and Chief Ted Smith do the same with the fire department, to sit down in a coffee shop locally and just listen to the people. You call me, you tell me what's your concern, and for 25 years of my life, I've been a professional listener. My job is to listen to people, understand their concerns, and make good things happen for them. As a result of the experience that I've had in my life, I look at situations where you have a family that's lost a loved one and they're left with mortgage payments, with a single breadwinner now remaining and children not knowing what to do as their parent has passed. I'm the one they call. I'm the one that works with them to bring a community together to make their life better. When somebody is taking their elderly parent and having to make a transition in their life and wanting to do it with dignity, we're the ones they call to work that through. These are personal issues. This is life. And everybody has a story and everybody has a need. And I'm running so that those needs and those stories will have a listening ear and somebody who's willing to intercede on your behalf and to help. This is your government and I'm here to serve you. And I'd be honored to receive your vote. And again, I want to reiterate, regardless of who's elected, whoever you vote for, please just vote. This is a representative form of government. We need more people involved. And so I want to thank you for the privilege to be with you today. Thank you.
Chase?
When I got into this race, I was spurred to move by public service. I felt that there were citizens that were not being heard, communities that are underserved. I'm battle tested in real world knowledge, so I would bring real world knowledge to this. There was a time when, I was growing up, and the best that my family could afford is we lived in a one-room flat with an outhouse. Well, it was practically an outhouse. We came up from that, and we're in Thousand Oaks now, so you have to think about that is the kind of story that that's how a lot of people came here. They were able to move up from poverty to come into a city like this. We came from Santa Barbara. There's practically no middle class there. And I don't want to see us lose our middle class here in Thousand Oaks. That's one reason why I'm running. Another reason why I'm running is because I noticed this is 33% gender income gap in our city. We got to address that. Congress won't address it, so let's see how we can address it. And spending is going to exceed revenue at some point in the next few fiscal years. We have some hard choices to make, and we've got to be realistic about it. As I said, I'm in customer service. I've been part of the team that implements the corporate vision. Sometimes management isn't going to be there to tell you exactly how to arrange a rack of clothes or how you're going to solve a problem. Sometimes they won't tell you, they'll just tell you, do it, figure it out. And that's what I've had to do in my work. But I'm committed to working on a team with the other council members, even if we disagree. I want to work with Joel Price on matters of policing, as he was on the police force in Los Angeles for very many years. I want to work with Al Adam on issues of finance, since he has worked for Wells Fargo for years. I will work with Andy Fox on issues of fire safety. He's been on the in LA County Fire Department for many years and served us well there. And I will work with Claudia Villalobos on issues of growth and protecting our environment, because she has been a force in protecting our environment in this area. So I'd be honored if you vote for me. I'm not a career politician. I am, as I said before, I'm a worker first. I've gone to work, walked to work, 4:30 in the morning, no complaints. And I did it because I had to help my family and to be a stronger person and to be a strong citizen of this community. I don't ask what the city can do for me. I ask what I can do for the city. Thank you.
Coming from Temple City, California, or we used to call it Humble City, California. My dad's a police officer, my mom was a secretary. Not a lot of money, but both my brother, my sister, and I all worked ourselves full-time and attended UCLA for my sister, and Claremont Men's College for my brother, without any government assistance. So I say we did school of hard knocks is how we started. But I will tell you, it was that public education, that community involvement in youth programs that actually got me to another level, both from UCLA and then going on to Washington. Now here as a resident for 26 years, and as a volunteer for 26 years, I can say I put in the time to serve this capacity. I look around this room, there's people here I've served on boards with, and you all know that I'm the most qualified candidate. And that's really what our job is here today as residents, is who's the most qualified person for the next generation of leadership in Thousand Oaks. In fact, if you were all human resources managers at a company, let's just use the city of Thousand Oaks as an example. It has fixed assets valued at about $1.2 billion if it were a company, between trucks and land and properties and so forth. $1.2 billion. Annual revenues of about $180 million. Now, if you all were all human resource managers, wouldn't your job to select a person with the best educational background, most recent training, and the qualifications to serve that position? Not necessarily who's the most popular or how it was done many years ago, but going forward, who's going to be that person to lead Thousand Oaks in the next generation? I put in the time, I've committed myself, the money I've committed to run this campaign to get my name out. I've served you many, many years in the past, and I look forward to many years in the future as a city council member. Please elect me, Dan Round, as your next council member. I am the next generation of leadership, I hope. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the candidates, and especially the audience, for taking time to engage in the affairs that affect us all. The questions we have tried to elicit have dealt with business, Measure E, water, traffic, the specific plan, the strategic plan for 2064, the priorities to be involved in the city granting money to private and non-profit organizations, and also the priorities in setting budgets. And then we had 4 pretty critical, criticizing questions. You've had a chance to hear their introductions of themselves and their final concluding remarks about their campaigns. Please honor them by voting. And remember, very simply, if you don't vote, and you lose your voice. But it's not like you don't get counted. It's just you get counted in terms of whoever wins, because they are the majority. So there's every reason to vote. I know the voting is going to be very low, and so whatever you can do to help people engage, please do it. I'd like to thank, by way of including our major sponsor, Southern California Gas Company, Waste Management, our media sponsor, KBY TV, which is going to, I think Bob Allen told me they're going to put it on tonight, show it continually. They'll also give a feed to TOTV, Free TV, and that'll be from this afternoon on. Also, I would like to especially thank California Lutheran University as the event host, and also the co-host, the Greater Conejo Chamber of Commerce. With that, what I'd like to do is to end by giving the candidates a vote of, or an applause and a welcome, but also thank you for having the courage and being willing to stand forth for your community. Thank you. We'll be around for a few minutes.